So this is for tribal India. Very quick revision we will do. First, what all you have to remember? Tribe definition compulsory you have to remember. Tribe definition, any definition, it can be the definition of Clifford Geertz, who gave the definition of culture, who gave the definition of tribe, or else you can remember the definition of D.N. Majumdar. A tribe is a collection of families bearing a common name, and members who occupy the same territory, geography, speak the same language, and observe certain taboos regarding marriage, professional occupation, and have developed a well-assessed system of reciprocity and mutuality of obligations. Tribe definition. When you are unable to remember the definition, you can give the characteristics also. Characteristics which are given by the Bar Commission, that you can write. Concepts of tribe according to D.N. Majumdar. This person is D.N. Majumdar. Louis Berry defines tribe as an independent political division of population with a common culture. This many understand. This is my classroom PPT. F.J. Gillin, what is his definition? Ralph Linton, what is his understanding of tribe? So in various anthropological view, we need to know the definitions of tribe. Concept of tribe, general understanding according to Lewis, British anthropologist. So we came across this many names. When you use these names, names also you will get a lot of marks. Lewis or Ralph Linton, Gillin or Lucy Mayer. Anyhow, you know about D.N. Majumdar. So likewise, if anyone asks you about the tribe in interview point of view, जनरल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फटाफट आपको बोलना पड़ेगा क्या है कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ट्राइब्स का कॉमन टोपोग्राफी मींस दे आर लिविंग इन वन पर्टिकुलर ज्योग्राफी a sense of unity endogamous common dialect kinship relations distinct political organization common culture egalitarian values primitive religion isolated form of living primitive technology subsistence form of economy these are all the general characteristics of Indian tribes debate क्या debate है definition पहले तो tribe now they are coming into contact with the mainstream. Then why we are giving them tribal status in spite of their association with the mainstream? This type of debate. T.B. Nayak, a tribe should have least functional interdependence within the community. Means they have to depend within the community. They should not come out of the community. That community is called as tribe according to T.B. Nayak. This also you can put. Following observations, Madan and Majumdar is a territorial group. Santals working in Assam tea gardens refer to particular regions of Bihar and Bengal. R.K. Roy Burman view on tribe. Scheduled tribes in India, Article 366, which is mentioned Article 342. Simple, if anyone asks you. Who are scheduled tribes? According to the Constitution, Article 366, Clause 25 tells that in that Article 366, Clause 25, there is a mention for Article 342, which says that at the formation of the Constitution, the President was having the power to declare some of the communities as STs. Some of the communities as STs. And these communities, once they are been declared as STs, next further addition or deletion of new STs into the list will be made by the Parliament only. But for the first time, it is the President with the consultation with the state governors. That you have to tell. Then Scheduled Tribes Article 342. See here. The President may, with respect to any state or union territory, and where it is a state after consultation with the governor thereof by public notification, specify the tribes or tribal communities or parts or groups within tribes or tribal communities which shall for the purpose of the Constitution is deemed to be scheduled tribe in relation to this. Means President will be declaring with respect to the state and union territory, this will be the ST. But after first time, second onwards, addition or deletion of STs to the ST list will be decided by the parliamentary procedure. That is Article 342 talks about. The same. See, Parliament may by law include or exclude from the list of STs specified in a notification issued under Clause 1 any tribal or tribal community or part or group within any tribal or tribal community, but save as foresaid, a notification issued under the said clause shall not be varied by any subsequent notification. By only parliamentary procedure only, addition and deletion will happen. But for the first time, who have the power to declare ST means president. Like that. Criteria, Lokur committee. Lokur committee in 5 characteristics: geographical isolation, distinctive culture, indication of primitive tribes, backwardness, shyness of contact with the community at large, biogenetic variability, linguistic classification. Biogenetic variability means how they look like, morphological criteria, genetic parameters, racial history, Risley, Guha's classification, map point of view. Negrito issue, I asked last class, racial debate on Negrito element in India. Someone answered this question in last class. Against alternative view. Usually in my class, I will be discussing previous year's questions also. Linguistic classification. Linguistic classification क्या होता है, किसके नाम पे होता है, ग्रेड्स एंड वगैरह, Ostric, Sino-Tibetan, Indo-European, Dravidian. These 3 are tribal classification. Sino-Tibetan, Indo-European is mainstream. Dravidian is tribal. See, Ostric, Sino-Tibetan and Dravidian. Ostric family, Nishad, Sino-Tibetan कैसे दिखते हैं, Dravidian कैसे दिखते हैं. Chatterjee's linguistic classification also extra point. Previous question on this topic, socio-economic characteristics, classification based on economy. You can talk about hill cultivation. You can talk about hunting. You can talk about plant cultivation. Simple artisans, Kinnoris of Jammu and Kashmir, famous for woolen cloths. Chinchus are famous for bamboo baskets. Pastoralists, nomadic Gaddis of North India, permanently they will be moving. Sugalis of Deccan, temporarily they will be moving. Seasonally nomadic. Sedentary, full-time sedentary pastoralists, Todas. Folk artists, Kotas, Kerala's famous for snake charming. Nat and Sapara of Uttar Pradesh. Agriculture and non-agriculture laborers. Based on social characteristics, matriarchal tribal population, Kasi, Nair, Garo. Youth dormitories, Orans, Goans, youth dormitories are there. Women is treated as impure. Todas and John Sari tribe, women is treated as impure when she is menstruating. Debate is also there. As well as extra geographical distribution of India, region, economy-wise, geographical, major tribes. Please remember the tribes of your state. You have to remember your state tribes. Regional, north, northeastern, central, southern. नॉर्थ में कौन सा है, एवरी स्टेट. सिक्किम में क्या है, आसाम में क्या है, अरुणाचल प्रदेश में क्या है, नागालैंड में क्या है, मणिपुर में क्या है, मिजोरम में क्या है, त्रिपुरा में क्या है, मेघालय में क्या है, सेंट्रल में छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू इज फेमस, यू नो. छत्तीसगढ़ एंड मध्य प्रदेश, सतरन जोन, island, Andaman Nicobar Islands, what are the tribal communities which are located? 6.1. Why I told or why I opened this? Because you should know their biogenetic variability. You have to revise, compulsory, I am telling you. If you get the questions, you will get the questions from tribal India only.
So not in the things which have been taught till now, but some other doubts are there, sir.
Yes.
So I can let you know for now.
Ask me.
Okay. So, sir, tribals usually have various taboos regarding what to eat and their custom. So this is leading to the malnutrition. So as an administrator, how can we prevent taboos in tribes? For example, Beal towards tuber. So how can we prevent those taboos, which is leading to malnutrition?
By education. By education. By awareness creation. But awareness creation not by the outsiders. Awareness creations by their own elder man, by their own shaman. These are the two mechanisms, education and awareness.
Yes, sir. I was expecting some questions you would ask like in the other sessions. So we can try answering them.
That I will do. No, just I want to discuss about.
Sir, hello. Sir, one more question. Sir, could you provide practical insights into the performance of the TSP, tribal subplan, or the scheduled tribe component plan, which it is called now? So the practical performance, sir, how is it as performed?
Tribal subplan?
Yes, sir, TSP.
See, listen. Tribal subplan is envisaged by or planned by It's a policy designed by LP Vidyarthi, and Guri also added to it. So tribal subplan, what it mainly tells me, when the governments are allocating their budget, from that budget, a specific amount will be going to tribal community with respect to their population. 8% will go to tribal population. Tribal department, this much percent. Means, for example, Ministry of Agriculture is there. 100 rupees was allocated to Ministry of Agriculture. In that 100 rupees, 8 rupees will go for tribal agriculture. That is called as tribal subplan. But in 2018, National Commission for Scheduled Tribe in one of the newspaper mentioned that the tribal subplan is very rarely implemented. Except some tribal states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand, except those mainstream states, tribal subplan is not at all implemented seriously. This is one issue which was been discussed by NCERT when talking about the welfare of scheduled tribe. अब बस ट्राइबल स्टेट्स में इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है, मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड, ओडिशा में, ये चारों स्टेट में ही इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है, ये चारों स्टेट में ही उसका देखभाल हो रहा है. Apart from it, nowhere in no states there is tribal supply. This is one point. I will ask you, Roja Rajan, tell me, what is ITDP? Are you aware of this?
Sir, Integrated Tribal Development Plan.
What it is?
No.
What it is exactly?
Sir, I am completely out of touch. I cannot even recollect.
That is very, very important. Anyone? Agree?
Sir?
ITDP. Anyone?
Sir, these are integrated travel development programs under the TSP only. So, which are done for the holistic development of tribals like education, awareness, employment generation, rural infrastructure. So, these kind of projects are taken under ITDP.
Okay. How it is implemented? Ayushi?
Sir, there is integrated tribal development authority. So it is responsible for implementing the different plans.
Okay, I will tell you. Listen carefully. This is very important. Why? Because in IIMs also, these ITDPs are used as case studies. One of the successful model of government of state governments, some of the state governments. Why? Because these ITDPs are for the first time implemented in Andhra Pradesh. This is the innovation of Andhra Pradesh government. Later on, it is copied by central government, and central government also implemented this ITDPs. ये क्या होता है? Integrated Tribal Development Program. For that, there will be integrated tribal development plan. For that, who should implement the plan? There will be a project, integrated tribal development project. ये क्या करता है? Mainly scheduled 5 areas. In scheduled 5 areas, the government, mainly the state governments, will form some pockets where the tribal population are present in higher number in scheduled 5 areas. That area will be called as ITDA, Integrated Tribal Development Area. In that geography, if the geography area is large, a IAS officer will be, this is very important for you, a IAS officer will be appointed as project officer, PO. He is called as PO. A IAS officer will be appointed as a project officer. If the area is larger, if the area is less, a group 1 officer will be appointed as project officer. If the area is less, what he will be doing? Very successful. The project officer will be given by funds. Project officer will be given by funds, given funds under tribal subplan. This project officer will be given men, resources, people to work under him. Number 2, resources are there. Number 3, no political interference, full powerful. No political interference will be there in the scheduled 5 areas, which is called as integrated tribal development areas. Number 4, targets will be given. The literacy rate should be reaching this. IMR should be reaching this. MMR should be reaching this. Now you tell me, Roja, if you are a project officer in one particular tribal area, you got funds, you got men, resources, you have no political interference, and you have target. Whether you can reach the target or not?
Yes, sir. It is possible because most of the obstacles are cleared.
That is a successful story of integrated tribal development project. Nearly now 262 ITDPs are being formed in India. They are successfully implemented, mainly in Scheduled 5 areas. Is it not a case study? No political interference. You have funds, you have resources, you have targets. Obviously, you will reach the target. Almost all the ITDPs of Andhra Pradesh were being successful in tribal areas. Hence, it became a case study for the country. That is the beauty of ITDP. If from South India, you will get this question, or if not, you will get in question also. What are ITDPs? How they are functioning? Whether they are successful or one more question.
Sir? Sir, so can we say that ITDPs have been successful? Are there no challenges with it? Are there any challenges with the ITDP?
No, challenges will be there. Obviously, challenges will be there. But the challenge is what? Absence of timely release of funds. Absence of timely release of funds, number one. Number two, state governments are reluctant to form the ITDPs. Why? Because unnecessarily the fund is going for something. No, if not, they can use for some welfare program and they can get votes.
Sir, it happens when tribals migrate. For example, if they come to Delhi region or some other urban area, so they come across different set of cultures, different urban lifestyle. So that occurs to them as a culture shock, sir.
Whether do you really believe that culture contact is responsible for all the problems tribals are facing?
Sir, I won't say all the problems, but to some extent, yes. But I am not saying all the problems because even in Andaman tribe, like the Sentinelese, their population is decreasing. But there is no outside interference in case of Sentinelese tribes. Still, the population declining. So not all the problems, but some of them, yes. Like MNCs coming into their areas, exploiting their resources. So those kind of problems are there.
Assimilationism versus integrationism. Who supported what and what is the debate between both of them?
Sir, actually, no. Integration was suggested by GS Guriye, who believed that tribals are backward Hindus.
Wrong.
No, it's assimilation. Integration was by Nehru's policy.
No, first Very Relevant only. Very Relevant
isolation.
Isolationism. Then later, because of the influence of Nehru, he shifted to integrationism. So the debate between integrationism and assimilationism is between Very Relevant and Guriye only.
And Guriye, okay. So according to Verrier Elvin, he believed that since tribals are very different from the mainstream population, they should be kept in isolated areas, like a tribal park kind of a concept. But later, with Nehru's influence, he came to the understanding that tribals has to be slowly integrated with the rest of the society at their own pace. So ultimately, we decided to go with the integrationist approach, and we enacted the tribal Panchasheel as well.
Very good. Do you think there is a requirement of reinventing tribal Panchasheel? Ayushi?
Sir, I think the tribal Panchasheel, they are very good, but there is problem in the implementation. The policy is right because it allows that the tribal should be ruled by their own institutions. The tribal should be given land rights, and also there should be no outside interference. The outside interference should be minimal. So the principles are right, but there is problem in the implementation. So I think that we have to improve the implementation.
प्रधानमंत्री आदि आदर्श ग्राम योजना क्या है?
I could remember the MPs, they have to adopt a village.
That is Adarsh Gram Yojana. That is only Pradhana Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana. Adi Adarsh Adi.
The SC/ST village.
SC/ST villages. Those villages, this is new. very, very new government scheme is Pradhana Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana, which mainly talks that in any village, if the population of SC and ST is more than 50%, then exclusively 1 crore rupees will be given by the central government for the development of that village on pilot basis, quickly. So that particular program is called as Pradhana Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana, SCs and STs both. What is the condition? Their population should be more than 50%. Goal. What is goal scheme? Udvi, what is goal scheme?
Sir, it is a collaboration of Facebook and Ministry of Tribal Affairs to empower women and children of tribes.
First, Facebook is correct.
So we're giving them digital training and leadership training to the tribals.
Mentoring is correct. Mentorship program this is. There will be a mentor, there will be a mentee. Mentee will apply through Facebook platform into goal. Then the mentor will approach. With respect to the request of mentee, the mentor will be mentoring them. Mainly the tribal people. That particular scheme is called as goal. Going online as leaders. Going online as leaders, goal. So you are from anthropology background. Tell me, what is the biggest problem which is faced by the tribals, according to you?
Sir, difficulty in keeping their culture intact due to high cultural contact with the mainstream community. It is having spillover in all the sections, political, social, and economic aspects of the tribal system. Sir, can I give an example here? Sir, when the Nicobarese tribes, when they were facing the tsunami, they were relocated to a remote island. And when the government tried to intervene by giving them money and PDS rations, mainland food and all, it actually affected the society because it was a non-monetary society and they had different cuisines and different food. So people started having health issues and men started spending the money unnecessarily. And now the population is on a decline.
What is the difference between Schedule 5 and Schedule 6? Schedule 5 and Schedule 6, anyone?
Sir, in Schedule 6 has been extended to Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. The main difference is that in Schedule 6, there is more power. It is having autonomous council and they have a legislative, judicial, and executive power. And most of them are elected. But in case of Tribal Advisory Council, which is formed in the 5th schedule, very few are elected and the others are nominated and they have mostly advisory power. So
what is the role of governor in Schedule 5 and Schedule 6?
Sir, any legislation which has been passed by the parliament, they can be applied or modified. So this has to be decided by the governor. And if tribal advisory council they give any advice, so it is not binding, but the governor can listen to their advice and make some changes accordingly. And sir, also in a 6th schedule area, the governor can increase or decrease the area, the constitution. So there I'm confused between governor and president.
Very good, very good. I will tell you. Correct only. Schedule 5, schedule areas. Schedule 6, tribal areas. In Schedule 5, there is tribal advisory council, means advise. In Schedule 6, there is autonomous district councils. And these autonomous district councils are directly elected by the people. Advisory, tribal advisory councils, some are appointed by the state government and some are elected. The major thing is, here the governor have a role only with respect to land alienation, moneylenders, Schedule 5. Moneylenders controlling money lenders, and culture and liquor policy. But autonomous district council, they have holistic powers. They have more numbers. It is also called as parallel cabinet. It also works like parallel cabinet. And here comes the role of governor. Governor role is very, very important. Simple, remember like this. Governor in scheduled 5 area is a gatekeeper and he will open the gate every time. The laws made by the parliament and the laws made by the state assembly by default will be applied into the scheduled 5 areas by default. But if governor feels that no, this law should not apply onto the scheduled 5 areas, their culture or their living will be affected, he will close the gate. In scheduled 6 areas, governor works like a gatekeeper. He closes the gate every time. All the laws made by the parliament and the state assembly will not apply onto the tribal areas. If he thinks that this is good and it is going to help the tribal people in tribal areas, then he will open the gate and this will be applied onto the tribal areas. Like that you have to remember. Simplified. Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. One homework, if you know, you can tell me. Recently, what is the update on Nagas? There is some constitution thing which happened with respect to Nagas. Anyone can answer me?
Sir, there was a demand for a greater Naga. So they are, sir, yes, sir. So, sir, they are demanding that they should be given few parts of other states like Assam and Meghalaya. And also they are demanding a separate flag or separate. So that has been rejected by the state government. Sorry, by the central government.
Anyone? Roja, what is the issue which is happening around Naga? What Aishi told is correct. More, what you want to add?
Sir, the Naga peace talks are happening. We had Sir Ravi sir as the interlocutor, but since the demand for separate flag and separate constitution was not agreed by the central government, the peace talks are at a halt right now. So that is the current development according to my knowledge.
Yes, the current update is Ayushi what she told. So they were been asking about more area from Assam, more area from Arunachal Pradesh, more area from Manipur, and they want to have a greater Nagaland, and they want to have a separate flag, and they are also demanding for separate constitution for the state.
There was some Naga Kuki conflict also.
Naga Kuki conflict is there from it's a everlasting conflict, ethnic conflict it is.
And sir, about Bodo land also it was in news.
Bodo land is because of regionalistic demand. They are asking for separate state, not country. Earlier there was a demand for country, but now they compromise and they are asking for separate statehood, Bodo statehood within Assam.
Sir, an Assam Meghalaya pact was signed recently.
Assam Meghalaya pact mainly with respect to conclusion of the border lines. So there will not be any further issue asking for area from the Assam. Meghalaya is asking for some of the geographical area from Assam. So it is not a big issue. It was just an understanding, a memorandum of understanding.
But sir, will it impact the lives of tribals on ground? Because
No,
they have to
status quo.
Okay, sir.
The MOU was status quo.
So, like I had read recently, it was in news that in that Roja was mentioning about Assam, Meghalaya. So, Garo tribe or some tribe they want to go into Meghalaya, and the other tribe they want to go into Assam.
No, they are living on the borders. So they want to claim, for example, Garos are located on the borders of Meghalaya and Assam. So some section of people are living in Assam, some section of people are living in Meghalaya. So they want to claim a statehood for the Garos. If not, they are demanding for a Garo land also. There is a demand for Garo land. So what they did, status quo, anyhow you are coming under Schedule 6 area. So some section of people fall under Assam, some section of people fall under Meghalaya. That is the issue between both of them. So they want to settle at one place. So settlement is very difficult.
Sir, and this Tipra land was also in news. Sir, which tribe for that?
Tripura.
Something like that.
No, Tripura.
So Tripura land was for Tripuri tribe inside
Tripuri
the
tribe.
Tripura. Yes.
Tripuri tribe it is, and one more example I will tell you. Tripuri tribal community will not consume milk. Do you know? Tripuri tribal community, this is also an example of malnutrition. Tripuri tribal community, they will not consume milk. Why? Because they believe that the milk belongs to the calf. If we drink the milk, that means we are snatching away the milk of calf, because of which there is a calcium deficiency among the Tripuri tribal community. This example also you can.
Sir, hello.
So things as an anthropologist means as an administrator, how can we solve like these regionalistic demands?
Yes, regionalistic demand. Very good question. There is M.N. Srinivas answered it. M.N. Srinivas answered it. I will tell you. M.N. Srinivas, anthropologist, gave following suggestions to tackle regionalism. Creation of natural region based on scientific criteria. Like, Africa is divided unscientifically. They just drawn linear lines and they divided the countries. Like that, region should not be divided. The region should be divided mainly based upon scientific lines. M.N. Srinivas. Regionalism should not be seen merely as a law and order problem. It should be seen as a multi-dimensional issue, and it should be tackled with sympathy and care, but not with stick. Local should be given preference in certain categories of jobs. There is a need for balanced regional development. These are the 4 points which are advocated by M.N. Srinivas. और कुछ ऐड करना चाहते हो?
सर एक बॉटम टॉप डेवलपमेंट होता है, वो भी सर इसमें बताया था, मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा याद आ रहा है. इसमें बॉटम अप डिसेंट्रलाइज डेवलपमेंट होता है.
100%, yes. What is hands cuff policy?
सर इट्स कॉल्ड एज हैंड्स ऑफ आई ऑन पॉलिसी. सर अभी रिसेंटली शुरू किया गया. तो उसमें सर वी आर नॉट टचिंग, वी आर नॉट मतलब अंदर उसके ट्राइबल एरिया से यू आर नॉट मेकिंग अ डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट, यू आर जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड.
Very good. Yes, there is hands cuff policy. जाके देखना है बस.
Sir, so this was the answer for regionalism. So if the question is how to resolve ethnic conflicts in various tribal communities, so how to answer that one?
Ethnic and political movements. These are Sujit Sinasi. Mention different causes for ethnic conflicts. इसका नाम ले लो. Denial of participation of tribals in development. Yes. Poverty and poor economic development. These are the reasons which are responsible for ethnic conflicts according to Sujit Sinha. This led to political and ethnic movements like Mezo versus Naga, Bodo versus Kachari, Naga versus Kuki, Kuki versus Kuki, सब में है, Kuki versus Paiti. Consequences: extreme leftist ideology, demand for separate state and country, bloodshed, loss of property, national integration under threat, remedial measures. This is what we want. Remedial measures, solutions. Finding out the loopholes in legislation like removal of AFSPA. According to which committee recommended, which judge recommended for repealing AFSPA? Anyone can tell me?
Justice Verma Committee, Jivan Reddy Committee.
Huh?
Even Justice Sanju.
Justice Verma Committee नहीं.
Jeevan Reddy.
Jeevan Reddy Committee, yes. Jeevan Reddy Committee. Jeevan Reddy Committee, former Supreme Court judge, repealing of AFSPA. AFSPA क्या है?
Armed Forces Special Powers Act, sir. Full form.
Yes. What does this do?
So under clause 3 of the act, it provides armed forces special powers to arrest without warrant, or to shoot below the belt, or to go for searches. So there are various special powers are provided to the armed forces to control the disturbance in the various areas.
The disturbed areas.
The disturbed areas.
First condition is if any area is declared as, what you told is correct only, but if any area is declared as disturbed area, then there will be AFSPA. Right now, in how many states AFSPA is there? Right now,
I think 4, Arunachal, Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland. And parts of these, not the entire state, but the parts of these states.
Bring economic development in the region, policy making should be.
So what about Jammu and Kashmir?
I asked states, it is UT. Participation of tribals in development process, Buriye committee recommendations we have to implement. Religious conversions or forced conversions should be stopped. Political and social economic empowerment. There should not be any regional imbalance in development. These are the remedial measures for ethnic and political movements. The anthropologists help in solving the issues like regionalism, addressing the communalism, and bridging the gap between ethnic populations and the mainstream, so that the development reaches all the sections of the people equally and leads to the political and psychological integration of the country. Conclusion, answer. So the only solution for all the problems is psychological connect, emotional connect. People to people contact need to be enhanced.
सर एक डाउट था
हाँ.
सर वो एक इंडिजिनस ट्राइबल्स का सर एक वो है ना कि इंडिया की है कि नहीं सर एक बार उस पर थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए
I didn't got you.
सर वेदर आर ट्राइब जो है वो इंडिजिनस है कि नहीं इंडिया की वो जो नहीं है सर डिबेट चलता है इंडिजिनस कम्युनिटीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में तो सर उसमें बोलते हैं कि ट्राइब्स इंडिजिनस हैं कि नहीं सर एक बार ये डिबेट बता दीजिए
Tribe as indigenous or not? Yeah.
यस सर इस पे थोड़ा सा सर एक बार वो बताइए कि सर मतलब ज्यादा क्लियरली समझ में नहीं आया था वो जब पढ़ रहे थे
Indigenous doesn't have a state. Indigenous means people who are stateless, locals of one particular region. Those are called as indigenous people. Tribes are those who are recognized by the state. Means there is a political system and that state is recognizing these people who are backward. That community is called as tribe. Tribe is a technical word. Indigenous is a real word. इंडिजिनस पीपल के लिए कोई स्टेट नहीं रहता इंडिजिनस पीपल के लिए कोई पॉलिटिकल दे आर बोर्न एंड बॉट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया एंड दे आर लोकल्स ऑफ दैट रीजन स्टेट they are not bothered about the state they live their own life but tribe is an identity a technical term tribe is a technical term which is given to indigenous people by the state is called as tribe that is a major understanding
Sir, but in India, do we have indigenous people or tribals? That is
no we don't use a
debate.
term called as indigenous
But are they indigenous? Are tribals in India indigenous people?
before British invasion they were indigenous but after British invasion they got identity from the British as well as post independence times
Okay, sir.
देविश बात समझ में आई
सर मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है नहीं है सर मतलब क्वेश्चन ये था सर जैसे एक यूनेस्को को एक चार्टर आया था 157 तो उसमें कई एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट बोलते हैं कि जो ट्राइब्स ऑफ इंडिया है वो इंडिजिनस हैं कुछ एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट बोलते हैं कि दे आर नॉट इंडिजिनस वो आर्यन माइग्रेशन से कंट्री में आए हैं तो ऐसा सर जो जैसे वेस्ट में कॉन्सेप्ट है इंडिजिनस से रेड इंडियन से दे आर इंडिजिनस नो वन इज इंडिजिनस लेकिन सर हमारी जो कंट्री में है दे आर नॉट इंडिजिनस अगर आप उनसे ट्राइबल से बात करें तो दे विल टेल कि उनके जो पूर्वज थे दे माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम सम रीजन तो सर ये वाला डिबेट
अच्छा so just I gave you the meanings of terms of tribe and indigenous true so there is Aryan invasion theory but what is the samatha judgment
Sir, in case of Schedule 5 areas, the permission of Gram Sabha is compulsory before acquisition of any land for mining purposes.
So it prevents tribal land alienation. Basically, tribal land was given to various MNCs and mining companies. So Supreme Court declared it null and void and said that tribal lands and forest areas could not be given.
A complete ban.
Yes, sir.
What you told is also correct, Aishi. That is secondary. Primary is this one. They gave a complete ban on conversions of tribal lands in Scheduled 5 areas of Visakhapatnam region of Andhra Pradesh. Have you heard about very important Mathura case?
Sir, was it related to displacement of tribes by construction of Yamuna Expressway or highways?
No. This is Mathura case. No, see, in 1970s, a tribal girl was being raped inside the police station. The first sexual assault case in India which became nationally famous. For the first time, the woman came onto the road for the justice of this tribal girl. Uske baad, the consequence of this case, judgment Supreme Court told that after 6 p.m., women should not be in the police station without police constables. If you want to arrest a woman, you should not go after 6 o'clock. Mathura case, tribal woman was being raped inside the police station by the police. The best example for atrocities against tribal girls, see ITDS. integrated tribal development areas.
So could you also tell about a bit about MADA and LAMS scheme in brief?
One is MADA, Modified Area Development Approach. It is just a development. I can tell you, like LAMS is large scale agriculture societies. I will show you one minute. See, in first 5-year plan, piecemeal approach. Second 5-year plan, multi-purpose tribal projects. Third 5-year plan, tribal development blocks. Fourth 5-year plan, intensive development areas and tribal developments. Fourth 5-year plan, together we have tribal subplans and integrated development projects. Tribal subplan came into existence. Fifth 5-year plan, tribal integrated fully got implemented. ITDS. Sixth 5-year plan में modified area. Yes, see, this is very important. See, in sixth 5-year plan, government noticed that certain pockets of tribal concentrations are outside ITDS. Some tribals are dispersed into mainstream. So now we have to develop those tribals who are dispersed into the mainstream. For this population, they devised a plan having minimum of 10,000 population, modified area development. Under this, two schemes initiated. One is financial subsidy, financial grant. Financial subsidies are given to the tribal people and financial grants are given to the tribal people. Financial subsidy, financial grant. What is the difference between both of them? Tell me someone. Financial subsidy and financial grant means what?
Sir, in subsidy, suppose if a loan is there, sir, the amount of loan or the interest of loan, it is decreased. But sir, in
subsidy means some percentage will be given. Grant means 100% free.
100%.
Modified area development में tribal people who are outside the integrated tribal development area are identified and given with financial subsidy and financial grant. That is called as MADA scheme. Whereas LAMS, which is called as large scale agriculture societies, the tribal people were being made as societies and they were being encouraged to do agriculture on large area so that the productivity will be there. That is called as large scale agriculture society. समझ में आया अंकुश? दोनों 6th 5-year plan में आया. 6th 5-year plan का time period 1980 to 85. Any doubts, Saroja? Anyone?
Sir, in general, sir, in overall tribals, what kind of questions that they can ask overall, apart from, sir, problems of tribals or problems of how to मतलब आप उनका exploitation कैसे रोकोगे, sir, इसके अलावा और क्या questions आ सकते हैं specifically from tribal part?
You know, Meso Accord. Do you know Meso Accord? Meso Accord is a successful accord in complete India up to now. एक बार अग्रीमेंट हो गया, अब तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ. ऐसा होना चाहिए अग्रीमेंट. To the tribal state called as Mizoram, there was a huge demand for Meso country, but there was an agreement between the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi and the Meso people. The agreement came to a conclusion such that today also there is no issue. For any regionalistic demand, any Khalistan issue, what is the best solution? Means there is a need for statesman approach. There is a need for statesman's approach, how the Rajiv Gandhi had made a Meso Accord in 1988, which is successful till date. There is not a single eruption of violence. So such type of solution is important. वो क्या है बोल के पूछते हैं. यूनिक वाला Meso Accord क्या है? मगर एक बार ट्राइबल में गिर गया, if you fall into the tribal questions, you know, finish. You will be into the loop. You will be rotating in the loop. They will make you to move in the loop.
सर क्या अप्रोच रखें फिर ट्राइबल्स के लिए, मतलब कितना पढ़ ले सर, क्योंकि अब इतने सारे अकॉर्ड, सर मीजो अकॉर्ड पहली बार ही सुन रहे हैं, इससे पहले सर पता है. हाँ, तो सर व्हाट शुड वी डू?
What you do now, I will recommend you make a notes for every northeastern states, for every state tribal issues, for every state recent tribal issues. You know, काशी का issue क्या है right now?
सर किसका? सर खासी का. काशी tribe in मेघालय. सर वो लैंड बॉर्डर, वो मेघालय उनको जाना है, असम जाना है, वो वाला इशू.
Kasi may some property.
Sir, they are
yes sir.
Material.
Yes sir. Matrilineal society hai, so they are not allowing it to pass. They signed an accord kind of thing.
What is Ayushi?
Sir, they're actually having matrilineal, so the property passes on to the daughters. But now they are trying to bring some change that it will be equally shared.
Yes. So state-based current issues करो आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में, छोड़ो मेन स्ट्रीम. नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में सिक्किम में क्या हुआ, अरुणाचल प्रदेश में क्या हुआ, नागालैंड में क्या हुआ, मिजोरम में क्या हुआ. फॉर एवरी स्टेट ट्राइबल इश्यूज, फॉर एवरी स्टेट ट्राइबल accords. That's it. That will be enough and more.
So one more question is asked that usually tribals are said to be good for the forest, good for the ecosystem environment, but then some tribals resort to shifting cultivation and animal hunting. So that is going against the environment. So how can we say that tribals are the protector of environment? So if such kind of question is being posed, how to tackle it?
See, there is adaptation also. For example, we discussed Devish. हमने डिस्कस किया था, आपको याद है तो, अरुणाचल प्रदेश में अपतनी ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी
Yes sir.
have a culture of wearing a headgear of the animal.
Yes sir.
What
Yes,
happened, you know, because of environmental protection, they adapted such that they used to kill the animal and they used to keep the headgear and they used to do a cultural dance. Now they are wearing headgear but which is plastic. So tribals are also becoming environmental friendly.
ये सर आपने एक हॉर्नबिल का बताया था, वो एक कम्युनिटी होती थी, हॉर्नबिल की सबसे बड़ी हंटर थी, अभी वो इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा हॉर्नबिल कंजर्वेशन होल्ड कर रही है.
हाँ, yes.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट.
ऐसा आपको adaptation is happening in tribal communities also, but however, majority of the tribal communities are for nature man spirit complex.
लेकिन सर इसमें एक ऐसा अप्रोच भी तो हो सकता है कि सर ट्राइबल्स they resort to such kind of activities if they are not provided with viable alternatives. सर आपने जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने बोल दिया कि आपको नहीं शिफ्टिंग करना है, but they are not providing with viable opportunities. अगर शिफ्टिंग नहीं करोगे तो क्या करोगे? So that is why they are doing it still.
One of my student, 524 rank last time, he got this question. What he told means, the question was like this: there is something relationship with man, forest, and culture. And my student, he told, his approach is also correct. This is question, original question, last time question. He told that that particular concept is called as culture ecology. Then the interviewer asked that I am talking about nature man spirit complex. So you should be very careful. Most often there will be questions on tribals, but not on anthropological thought.
Yes, so ऐसे सर आंसर्स में मतलब जैसे मैंने जनरल अप्रोच सुना तो उसमें बेस है कि आप थ्योरीज अवॉइड ही करो लेके आना.
हाँ, थ्योरीज अवॉइड ही करो.
हाँ, क्योंकि मतलब सर दे वांट टू अंडर, मेरे सर एक मॉक में पूछा था, दे वर आस्किंग अबाउट कल्चरल इकोलॉजी, so I explained them in very technical terms. They wanted to hear in very general terms.
Ah, yes. Why? Because they are generalists. Clear?
Sir, but at the same time, if they are asking some analytical question, like why some population of tribals are declining or something, if we have good grasp over the topic, we can bring tribe, caste continuum or nature man spirit, right?
Yes, 100%.
Because we are from anthropology background, it should not sound like others' answers.
No. See, यहाँ पे देविश क्या बोलना चाहता है? What he want to tell me? See, if I am also, if some layman people are there, I have to think interviewer as a layman only. They are intelligent, true. I will explain in technically, but explanation should be in practical examples, with real examples. A road में जाने वाला आदमी जैसा किसी को भी, if you tell to anyone, everyone should understand. Means when you take general examples, then only they will understand. Explain the concept technically, but give example of general example.
Yes, sir, understood.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.